This would be the female form, the ark, and then this would be the male, and then they would be in the invisible of the silhouette all over nature, somehow coupled, according to the Altamira caves or the caves of Lascaux. And we have in our neighborhood a lovely, famous green thumb, Jane Pepper, whom is the professor of horticulture at the Barnes Foundation in Lower Merion. She's often in London town giving lectures on the Elizabethan or Victorian rose amongst the illustrious cadre of knighted Sir So-and-so. But she placed this mountain laurel in the arrears of our sculpture, and it's excellent. It gives off an explosion of these electrolytes as if lovers had taken off their skins and sort of vanished back into the garden of her Irish Eden, or by spontaneous reapparition came out of there. And in that sense, the mythology of the Boer wound, and the Boer would hide behind this door, the Victorian plateau where lives the Princess of Ireland, the Princess of Monaco, Grace Kelly. And you could, in Philadelphia, old Philadelphia, take a tour of Fairmount, and it would be overlooking in some way, the twinkling eddy of the Brandywine River Valley, and still casting her gaze across old Philadelphia and her colonial grandeur, her grand old Republican Party. And in some way, it follows this tree of life theoretic that you could exit from the Victorian of Fairmount landed estate, this plateau atop the forehead. Here we would veer. There's one road here and one road here, and this would be a piece, and that would be, and nobody's supposed to be down here on this military path. And everybody seems to take the peace path and then locate everyone, but that's at your victorious ending, right? My grandfather speculates that at this place of merging of water and electrolytes, this becomes a river, and it would extend horizontally across the landscape. It would be silt, and it's talking to the patriarchal obduracy of Egypt. And in Magda's interpretation, it's surrounded by kind of these starry field. This is a wood hand-carved frame and an oil abstract landscape. And it would interpret this piece by my grandfather, I believe, as the Donald Judd hieratic, which some people have associated with the socialist art world in the sense that it is not handmade. And in that sense, the mythology of the Boer wound, and the Boer would hide behind this door. And Magda wonders, if it's a worm, and she cuts the worm, although suggests, breasts, that the breasts, and in the love story, if you're talking about the love story, well, then the worm is no longer an accurate mythology, and this would be a balloon in some sense of the lunar. And Ekepur, who is sort of a young boy in his teens, in his self-pleasurement, would at night kind of ride up into the celestial and explode, or his eyes would open into these many electrolytes, sort of as William Blake understood a flock of seagulls, the eye on errand, and would, like this balloon, kind of take float, and he would espy girls, or Psyche, and the two of them in ancient mythology would in the real kind of seize on one another and then arrive in the literal, in the tangible, awake. And Magda suggests, I think, a box, like a trap. The pit and the pendulum, and one side, is somehow, hunting. There is this lovely story. And in many ways, people in our family think of it as a crown, the Napoleonic mythology where nobody was sitting in that throne, and he dared kind of sit there and crown himself, outside the bounds of the Holy Father, the Pope Pius. And in that sense, it's the crown of nature, according to the Joe Campbell analysis. And that would tempt you and I, in the silence of no one looking, to kind of sit there and crown ourselves. And in Magda's interpretation, it's surrounded by kind of these starry field. The Edenists champion the handmade object, from the not-for-profit Ballinglen Arts Foundation, located in the lovely Irish Atlantic seaside farming hamlet of Ballycastle in County Mayo and Royal Eyre. As such, the Edenists are now ongoing in group exhibition, breaking into consciousness at the Tate Modern. I'm john.t.vitale, the newest hire onto the Fine Arts desk at the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Dow Jones Incorporated. Cheers now.